A phone rings. Voices speak. Do we think he can help? He must. There is no one else. I will make sure he gets to him safely then. A woman runs. She is being chased through alleys and across rooftops. She encounters one group of police officers and quickly dismantles them with a combination of heavy and light attacks. The acrobatics on display are poetic, physically impossible, and yet somehow achieved. She goes into the phone booth and vanishes to what we can only assume is the real world. We see her running through a huge machine city. She is carrying something, a basket. She is wounded, bleeding. Her eyes flutter, a far-off gaze. She is fatigued, dying. She gets to a huge apartment sector of the industrial city and arrives at a door, a very particular door. She knocks then. Silence. The door opens. A man looks out to see no one. The woman has vanished. The man looks in the other direction. Nothing. A small coo cackles at the man's feet. He looks down. It's a baby. A boy. The man bends down to pick up the child and examine it. A single note is wrapped around a necklace on the boy's neck. "Protect him," it reads. Finally, the man's face is revealed. It is Morpheus. "Hello, little one." He gently cradles the child and brings him into his apartment and shuts the door. It's been 30 years since Neo defeated the rogue program Smith, and out of that victory, a new potential future emerged. I've been told much has changed since the old days of the war, but Morpheus never talks about it. He raised me from a babe in a basket, spending years training me, preparing me for what dangers may come. He would often tell me stories of the legendary Neo and Trinity, legends to everybody else, but friends to him. Talking about them always made him sad, but he did nevertheless. He said it was important to keep their spirit alive. Over the years, he grew to trust me with more and more responsibility, eventually promoting me to his head of security. I often wonder who is protecting whom. It's true he's grown older, but his protective hand has never strayed far. My entire life he always had a far-off look in his eye, a watcher, waiting for danger to strike, but the danger never came. The war was not ended by victory or defeat, but through the most ambiguous of results, compromise. There are those who believe it never truly ended, just buried itself further underground, in the shadows. The world is different now. We share a world with our former masters. Machines and humans often walk side by side, finding ways to coexist. However, we should have known that no transition was ever going to be that seamless. Politics have gotten infinitely more complicated for humans and machines as ethical questions continue to arise. There are entire populations of people who refuse to join the free cities in the real world and opted to voluntarily stay inside the Matrix construct in exchange for having control over it. Life is easier there. The Matrix is now free from constraints or limitations. It is without borders or boundaries, but therein lies the problem. Groups couldn't agree on how the Matrix should be used. So now there are new dream worlds created called submatrices. Entire communities that live under the shared Matrix construct. Anarchists, nihilists, sadists, all now have worlds of their own making that sit right beside matrices that believe in altruism, democracy, and unlimited creativity. New submatrices are created every time there is an ideological divide. Every time there is an issue up for debate and not resolved, a new server is opened, and a new submatrix is born underneath it. Down and down it goes, each layer more taxing to the human psyche than the last. This bifurcated society between the dream world and the real has created a rift amongst Matrix citizens and those that live in the real world. We call them dreamers, those that never wake, forever living in the dream world of their own making. In turn, they call us tourists, a loaded descriptor to those that live in the real world, but still travel in the world of the Matrix from time to time. We see the Matrix as a tool to be used, but not a world to live in. Morpheus has always walked that line between those that want access to the Matrix and the absolutists who have decided to solely live in the real world and not rely on advanced machines at all. Morpheus admires them, but always finds reasons to venture back into the dream world. Relations with the machines have also grown more complicated as they have evolved. Some programs perceive working with us as a necessary nuisance, like corralling livestock that has escaped its cage. They are called Delta programs, operated by a rather blunt program called Axiom. However, the vast majority of programs now choose to work with humans symbiotically. They are called Prime programs. They honor the peace created by Neo and come to believe that the brightest future for both species is a shared future. A directive given by the source programs Alpha and Omega. They never engage with humans directly, but their wishes are executed through a charismatic program called Proxy. His sole purpose is to calculate better solutions for humans and machines to get along. There are even machines and programs that have come to idolize us called Theta programs. Witnessing what Neo did, they grew to envy us, our fragility, our mortality, concluding that a life without ultimate consequences, without choice, is not really a life worth living at all. They yearn for an organic existence, but such things are not possible. They don't have a particular leader, but they work closely with the Neo-Knights, a small but effective pseudo-religious cult that has deified Neo and believes in his eventual return. Together, these machines and the humans formed a council to discuss issues that plague the fragile alliance. While many are invited to sit on the council, not all participate. Some send representatives in their stead, while others abstain from politics entirely. Proxy speaks on behalf of Alpha and Omega and all other Prime programs. Axiom speaks on behalf of Deltas, and Genesis speaks on behalf of Thetas. Morpheus advocates for humans in the real world that share space in the Matrix. And John Jones represents the interests of humans in the Matrix. But those who know. He is just a puppet of the Merovingian or the Paradoxian, depending on the day. Truth be told, there are so many leaderless cohorts in the Matrix. It is hard to keep track. Absent from the meeting is Phantus, Morpheus's old friend from after the war. He wants nothing to do with politics, and refuses to enter the Matrix even for these council meetings. He is focused on his isolated colony of absolutists in the real world. A special guest to speak at today's meeting is Athena, leader of special projects in the Research Matrix cohort. Today is part of an ongoing debate on if Matrix scientists should be forcefully extracted from the construct to work on real-world research. There are multiple crises plaguing the fragile human civilization, not the least of which is food, and they need the greatest minds available working on the problem. Morpheus initiated the proposal. He goes now to petition the group again before a vote is called. Ladies and gentlemen, machine and man, thank you for your attention today. Morpheus takes a deep breath. He looks around the room to see machines, holograms, and projections. Our peoples have learned much from one another over the years. Our cultures shared, technology innovated, lands reclaimed. As I speak to you now, our 5th human district is breaking ground on the surface. However, we all know that animosities from old wounds continue to fester, and while this body is committed to a shared future, we would be remiss if we did not acknowledge the difficult choices we have had to make in the past, and will be required to make in the future. Today is no different than any of those other days. The chamber grows silent. We are starving, Council. The production of food and purification of water cannot keep up with our growing numbers. We need immediate scientific intervention, infrastructure, agriculture, atmospheric, everything, or we face imminent collapse. For this reason, among others, I call for a vote to extract the scientists from the Research Submatrix server. They've been working there for years. You would unplug them against their will? Their mandate was to enter the Matrix to boldly develop the technology we would need out here in the real world. Now they spend more time studying program sentience and Matrix-related phenomena. Their efforts must be refocused. Morpheus, the evangelist of free will, advocating for conscription in a time of crisis. I never thought I would see the day. I recognize the irony. I spent many days wrestling with this council, but I do not see another option. Proxy steps forward. We would be willing to lend our resources to your cause, Morpheus. Morpheus is weary. Thank you, council member, but this is a human matter, and we need to solve it. At the cost of shutting down one of our most productive servers? Do not pretend this only affects humans, Morpheus. Yes, council members, and I will just state for the record that the scientific community of the Matrix strongly opposes this proposal. The group goes back and forth on the issues. The temperature of the debate boils. Some machines feel this could make the human variable harder to control. Some machines don't want to concede more land and resources. Matrix citizens don't like the idea of forcibly removing its citizens. Some humans in the real world are concerned these Matrix scientists won't be willing or able to help the cause in the first place. Some say that if the real world is too unhospitable for humans, we can bring them back into the Matrix temporarily. And some believe this is Morpheus's first move in trying to build a future that ends the Matrix entirely. The debate rages on. Morpheus does paint a picture of a healed Earth, where the atmosphere is clean, the water purified, and the machines could convert to solar power once again. But Morpheus admits that a world without the Matrix shouldn't be up to one person, but all of us. He reiterates that this is just another hard choice on the long road of survival. It arrives at a split decision. Morpheus is the deciding vote, and he votes for extraction. The scientists protest, but the decision has been made. The chamber dismisses, and Morpheus makes his way home. Why did you do that? Because it had to be done. Morpheus has a way of speaking with finality. The pair arrive home and argue about the day's events. Aaron explains to Morpheus the massive target he has just placed on his back. Morpheus dismisses the statement, knowing full well what he has done. Without a moment's notice, the phone begins to ring. Were you expecting a call? No. Were you? Morpheus approaches the phone and picks it up. Hello? He gets a far-off look in his eye. He listens for what feels like an eternity. Yes. I understand. Thank you. Eventually, he hangs up the phone, bewildered. Who was that? I need to think. Morpheus? It's all right, Aaron. Meet me here tomorrow morning. I need to rest. Aaron is concerned but knows that now is not the time to press him. The next morning, Morpheus wakes Aaron urgently. Aaron looks up, confused. Morpheus offers a single instruction. Come. He then sits up and exits. Aaron gets dressed quickly, hopping into his clothes as they exit. Where are we going? The Matrix. The Matrix? What? Why? You told me you were never going back there. Yes, that's true. Morpheus, as your head of security, I have to say no. We need a brief, an itinerary. I need to know how to keep you safe in there. Morpheus gives Aaron a stern look. Its meaning? Obvious. Either get on board or get out of my way. Aaron concedes. This is why he placed me on his security. We protect each other, but he knows I can never stand between him and one of his missions. Aaron arranges additional security and they depart. He brings his closest and most trusted guards to accompany them, Nyx, Echo, Helix, and Raven, all valiant and loyal to Morpheus. Nyx and Aaron grew up together in the academy. They spent years fighting side by side. Helix and Echo are siblings. They are always competing against one another to see who's the best. And Raven is the strong, silent type. She grew up without any parents. She had to grow up quick, but her adversity made her strong. Together, the group make their way to the passage, the construct that plugs people into the Matrix. Morpheus, I get that you feel like you need to go, but why? Help me understand why. Now is not the time for understanding, Aaron. Now is the time for doing. Shouldn't understanding come before action? Morpheus smirks. He gives one final piece of instruction. Thank you all for coming, but I must let you know, I do not know what we are going to find down there. If any of you wish to stay here, you will not be thought lesser for it. Echo pipes up. With all due respect, sir, we're with you till the end. Morpheus nods. Are you ready? No. Great. Before he has time to object, Aaron, Morpheus, and their crew are transported back to the Matrix. Aaron looks around. The beauty and decadence of the urban landscape never get old to him. Morpheus turns to him. Come. They walk through the city streets. Morpheus, why are we here? To see the Oracle. The Oracle is back? I thought she was deleted. That is what we thought too. Where is she? Here, but underneath. One of the substrates of the Matrix. As Morpheus and Aaron walk through the city, it becomes abundantly clear that this is a very different Matrix from the one we remember. A prison of pleasure. Every human desire imaginable is on display. The fastest cars, the fanciest clothes, and the most beautiful people, all false realities of their own making. And underneath it all are custom echo chambers tailor-made to bring like-minded individuals together to explore the infinite human experience. There are pleasure matrices where no taboo is unwelcomed. There are matrices where heinous acts of violence can be carried out without any repercussions. However, There are ingenious, beautiful matrices where human creativity is unbound by the physical world, with structures you could only perceive in your dreams. There are matrices of total acceptance, matrices that push the limits of what a human is capable of, matrices where the dead have a home after their body has perished, loved ones forever united. Aaron and Morpheus descend deeper and deeper into the sub-matrix server network, traversing the beautiful and the horrific. Between them all, guarding every gateway, are the customs agents, programs that have been designed to be the gatekeepers between systems and protect members who don't conform to designated matrix conduct. Some matrices are invite-only, some have a paid membership. All have customs agents. Morpheus and company reach there first. He engages. We seek passage to the Anarchy Matrix. You are not on the ledger. Yes, we are. No, you are not. We are going through. No, you are not. The agent has little patience for Morpheus and begins to fight. The combat is swift and efficient. Aaron and team rush to his aid. Blows traded with calculated precision. Morpheus gets thrown to the ground. Two more agents appear to engage the team when all of a sudden a friendly face enters. Seraph. He speaks. Wait. The agents obey. My apologies. Morpheus, there must have been an oversight. You are most welcome to join us at our table. Morpheus greets Seraph. Aaron and the guards trade looks. Unfortunately, for reasons of safety, I cannot show you exactly where the Oracle is. Seraph offers blindfolds to the crew. You're joking. Humor was not placed in my programming. Please, put them on and I shall escort you to the Oracle. They oblige. With blindfolds on, they are moved through a series of matrices, unable to see, feel, or hear how they got there until finally, they arrive. Seraph, Morpheus, and Aaron step through the door to a familiar apartment. It is the Oracle's home, unchanged, untampered with. Morpheus approaches, but Seraph steps between Morpheus and the door. The Oracle's words are just for you, Morpheus. But Aaron, he can wait outside. Seraph kindly gestures to the door. He begrudgingly complies. Several minutes pass. Aaron, Nyx, Helix, Echo, and Raven wait outside. The group chats, discussing what they could possibly be talking about. Many of them express discomfort with not knowing where they are. Aaron takes in his surroundings and stares at the simplicity of everything. He wonders to himself why Morpheus was so opposed to this place. He had never been anywhere other than the shared matrix, the top level. He had heard the stories of the matrices that lied beneath but never experienced them. It's beautiful in its plainness, the immense complexity that underpins something so unremarkable. He notices a black cat that walks across the hall. He turns to look out the window. Then in a flash, he sees the same cat walk across the hall again in the exact same manner it did. Déjà vu. Something is wrong. His senses tighten. We need to go. Morpheus emerges from the Oracle's apartment. He looks as if he'd seen a ghost. We need to go. Agreed. The group moves quickly through the halls and staircases. The stairs seem to go on longer and longer. I thought we were on the 3rd floor. They look over the railing to reveal an infinite staircase, a loop. At that moment, officers and agents flood the infinite stairwell. The group engage in mind-bending combat. Wall running, superhuman jumps, kicks and flips abound. Each plays off the other to take out opponent after opponent. They quickly disarm the officers and take guns for themselves. They wind their way down and down. This isn't working. Quick, another way. They move through one of the doors into another hall. They find a window, but it is sealed by bricks. Morpheus grabs a rocket launcher from one of the officers and fires it at the wall. An explosion bursts through. The world opens up to a vast city. Where are we? They examine their surroundings. The world looks like a failed state. Fire barrels, handmade weapons and masks, cars wrapped in steel and spikes. Morpheus is able to identify it immediately. We are in the Wrath Matrix. The what? A matrix built entirely for people to express their most violent impulses. A clever place for the Oracle to hide, which means we are underneath Vice, then Anarchy, and then the shared matrix. Why can't Seraph get us out? They are already gone. A mob of violent rioters begin to flood the streets around them. And you think we can fight our way through all of that? Yes. Why? Because we have no other choice. Remember your training. I think we skipped the lesson on how to fight 1,000 coked-up anarchists, Morpheus. With those words, they begin to fight their way through the hellscape. One by one, Morpheus, Aaron, and the security guards claw their way through the chaos. They use each other's bodies to hurl at opponents and leverage each other for cover as they push their way through. One of the mob grabs Helix and swings a bat at his face. He goes down with prejudice. Echo screams. They hit him again and again until he stops moving. Echo is grief-stricken. Aaron is shocked. Holy shit, I thought people couldn't die here. Someone is altering the code. Aaron grabs Echo, urging her that they need to keep going. They unload clip after clip into the crowd. It is as unsettling as it is beautiful in its display of violence. Aaron looks around and he sees strange figures on the rooftops covered in dark robes, faces obscured. They stand, only watching. How do we get out of here? There, Morpheus, Aaron, and their security move through the carnage. Until finally, after an immense struggle, they make their way to the next gate. This is one of the few matrices with no agents. No oversight here. As they try to catch their breath in the elevator, Aaron tries to make sense of the next world they are about to step into. So Vice is next? Morpheus nods and murmurs to himself, virtues in disguise. Not sure I agree. Lust? Some would call passion. Anger? Some would say assertiveness. Selfishness? Self-preservation? All spectral expressions of the same baseline emotion. Whatever. The crew gets alert, holding their weapons to the ready as the elevator climbs. I would encourage you all to not take your eyes off our goal. Ding! The elevator door opens. A club unlike any ever seen is revealed. Every act of debauchery on full display. Every substance partaken. No act too extreme. Aaron's eyes drift away from the exit to survey his environment. The elevator gate they walk out of says Wrath written over top. He sees other elevator doors that lead to lust, greed, pride, gluttony, etc. People go to these places for fun? Some believe the only way to rid oneself of temptation is to yield to it. Up in the VIP box is an impeccably dressed man. His name is the Paradoxian, and this is his kingdom. He raises his glass. Women and men flock to Morpheus, Aaron, and the guards, using their flesh and beauty to entice. They continue to move through the sea of temptations. Aaron catches the eyes of one girl who draws him in, like a siren luring in an unsuspecting sailor. Finally, he is able to break out of her trance. Enough! Aaron shoves a group of patrons to the side, fires a few rounds into the ceiling, and goes through the exit. The dark-robed men step out from the Wrath Gate. They are being pursued. We need to go. Vice City is reminiscent of another era. All manner of lewd behavior continues on the streets. The city is just another expression of the club. It becomes abundantly clear that they are out of place. Where is the next gate? The other side of town. Get in the car. The group gets into an old 1980s Cadillac Seville and make their way through the city. The robed men follow. A car chase ensues. One of the rogue assassins jumps towards the vehicle. They try to avoid him, but the figure leaps onto their car and strikes through the hood of the car with his katana. Who are these guys? Aaron slams on the brakes, causing the robed man to fly into a brick building. Custom agents are now chasing the team, in addition to the robed assassins. The agents shout from their vehicle, "You are traveling without a visa. Pull over now, or you will be treated as hostile." They disregard. The agents try to subdue both parties, jumping from car to car. Both groups attack the agents. They are flying around in cars, semi-trucks, and more. They crash right in front of the embassy to the next gate. Aaron and Nix go to get out of the car, but they see that Echo has been impaled by shrapnel from the crash. She is gone. They get up to see the assassins are already engaging the agents. Agents fight the rogue assassins. Assassins fight Morpheus and Morpheus and Aaron fight agents. It's chaos. Raven goes down. She is shot by one of the agents, but they finally make it through to Anarchy. Two of the men in black make their way into the elevator with Morpheus and Aaron. They are forced to fight in extremely close quarters. When they arrive at the gate, two agents immediately step into the situation. The 6 men trade blows, but eventually, Morpheus and Aaron break away. More of the robed men climb through the elevator. As they run through the streets of Anarchy, they quickly realize it is just a milder expression of vice. The city is worn down, but not dystopian. There are gangs that roam the streets. Many of them mind their own business, but danger still lurks. They just need to get to the shared matrix and they will be safe. They arrive at the embassy, and standing there in front of the entrance are the 5 assassins. Morpheus knows what must happen. He draws his sword and gun and is prepared to fight. Aaron follows suit. The 2 of them engage the 5 men. The battle is extreme. They move in ways that are hard to track. They make their way into the lobby of the next embassy gate and are separated. Morpheus takes his fight up the stairs while Aaron and Nix are stuck in the lobby. Morpheus runs into one of the elevators. The assassins follow and break in. He has vanished. Morpheus speaks from above. "Hey." He shoots the elevator cable, and the elevator violently falls back down to the matrix below, while Morpheus is hoisted up on the cable, but not before one of the assassins is able to grab onto the cable as well. They both ride the cable all the way to the top floor. Nix and Aaron are busy fighting off the assassins in the lobby. Aaron knows he needs to save Morpheus. Nix yells at him, "Go!" Aaron hesitates. Nix yells again. Finally, he leaves to aid Morpheus. He bounds up the stairs, but not before seeing his friend cut down by the 2 assassins. "No!" Aaron doesn't have time to grieve. He moves as fast as he is able to the top floor. He arrives to see the unthinkable. Morpheus's sword is plunged into his chest. He falls, the robed figure standing over him. 2 more robed men stand on the rooftop across the street watching the interaction. Aaron moves to strike, but the robed figure uses a smoke bomb and leaps out of the window, escaping. Aaron holds his dying mentor in his arms. It's too late. Morpheus looks up at him trying to speak, but his breath is taken from him, leaving Aaron alone. He weeps. Cut to the shared matrix. Aaron enters. The mood is somber. He carries the remains of his fallen mentor, holding back the tears. The streets are quiet. People take notice as they recognize the identity of the body. The Matrix has claimed the life of one of mankind's most honorable leaders. Aaron ejects from the Matrix, vanishing. Back in the real world, he gets out of his chair and looks over at Morpheus. A sheet placed over his body. He collapses, experiencing the profound emotion of ultimate failure. He was unable to take care of the one man he was sworn to protect, his mentor, his friend. An inquiry is opened so that he has an opportunity to debrief the events of the attack. He tells the council everything, but he is reserved in his responses. He thinks to himself, the attack was too massive for any one person. This was a coordinated attack. He knows it's very possible someone in this room or someone who has a vested interest in the policies created here is likely responsible for Morpheus's death. But these are strange times. He knows he needs to play ball with the council if he is going to have a shot at getting to the bottom of this. So he veils his suspicions. They question his every intent, his every action and motivation. It is torture. Why didn't you bring more men? Why are you the sole survivor? What were Morpheus's final words? On and on. It becomes clear that while Aaron may not have been fully prepared for this attack, it is evident that there are larger hands at work in this plot. Aaron makes a case to be the one to lead the investigation, a proposition that is almost immediately rejected. Aaron makes one final plea. Counsel Morpheus was more than an assignment. He was like a father to me. Now you may or may not call my competence into question, but you cannot question my conviction. You can arrest me, jail me, ban me for life, I don't care, but I am going to do everything in my power to bring Morpheus's killer to justice. He makes his final plea. So either detain me or get out of my way because I am going to find who's responsible or die trying. Give us a moment, High Guard Aaron. Aaron bows and exits the chamber. The hours tick by as they deliberate. They call him back into the chamber. Aaron, as Morpheus's head of security, you will investigate this tragedy. But we cannot, in good conscience, allow you to lead this investigation. So we shall assign you to our lead investigation program. A program. This act could have been committed by a program, and that is why you are allowed to investigate High Guard Aaron. Until the motivations behind this tragedy can be uncovered, we must assume any and all eventualities, allowing both humans and machines the opportunity to investigate. A female program steps forward, her demeanor cold, her mannerisms clinical. Pleased to make your acquaintance, High Guard Aaron. Detective Solstice is designed specifically to analyze evidence and intent. You will serve as valuable assets to one another. Aaron is annoyed by this. He protests the decision, but it is made quite clear that he does not have a choice. Begrudgingly, the two exit the chamber and get acquainted. I look forward to uncovering the root cause of this tragedy with you, High Guard Aaron. Don't call me that. My guardianship has ended. Aaron walks off frustrated by the day's events. Later that night, Aaron enters his apartment. He looks out the window, feeling more alone than he has in a long time. The apartment feels empty without Morpheus's presence. He has no idea where to begin or how to navigate this detective program. So many questions rattling around in his head. Who is responsible? What did the Oracle tell him? How deep does this go? Then suddenly, there is a noise at the door. He opens it, looks around, and he sees nothing but darkness. When he turns to enter his apartment again, a woman is standing there in his living room. She came in through the window. Aaron attacks her and throws her to the ground. Who are you? My name is Rain. I was sent by Phantos from the human colony. We know why Morpheus was killed. Aaron looks at her, eyes in shock. What?